Thank you for tuning in to the Student Organization Summit. Make sure to follow us on social media and check out the many other videos on this channel about working with and advising student organizations. And now, please enjoy your workshop.
Hello, my name is Kyonna Henry, and I'm here to talk to you about recruiting and retaining a diverse board at a small institution. Just a little bit about me before we begin. I am a Virginia native, born and raised in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I have a bachelor's degree in English education and a master's degree in higher education student affairs, both from Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia. I currently work at North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University in Greensboro, North Carolina, where I advise the programming board, the Student University Activities Board, and I'm the campus coordinator for the Honda Campus All-Star Challenge, which is a quiz bowl challenge among all HBCUs. Previously, I was in Wisconsin for 7 years as the Director of Multicultural Affairs and doing diversity work. So I have about 8 years post-grad experience under my belt. I am a proud member of the National Association of Campus Activities, as well as Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I have a 3-year-old passion to do extra good in the world. She is pictured at the bottom right-hand corner of the slide. I just love her to pieces, and that she makes me do all the great things I do in the world. My favorite color is glitter. It is a color. And if you wanted to know, I prefer Pepsi over Coke. So I will talk to you a little bit about the makeup of my current institution and my former institution. My current institution, once again, is North Carolina A&T. It is in the UNC school system, University of North Carolina. We are a public 4-year institution that's not faith-based. We are the largest historically Black college and university in the nation. We have a little bit under 13,000 for our enrollment and about 160 student organizations. And I've been here for about 2 years now. And my previous institution is Ripon College. It is in the WACU system, which is Wisconsin Association of Independent Colleges and Universities. It is a private institution, 4-year, non-faith-based, but liberal arts. They have a little bit under 800 students, about 60 student organizations, and I was there for 7 years. So I feel very confident to speak with you today about the small school experience and how to recruit and retain a diverse board. So what do I mean by diversity in regards to our student organizations? So cultural diversity includes their family values and the ethnicity that each board member can bring to the table. Religious diversity, spiritual beliefs. Gender, sexual orientation, we want to make sure everyone is represented at the table. Race, nationality, they could be Caucasian, African-American, Latino, Asian, etc. Age, including different generations. We have non-traditional students as well. And it also could be a freshman to senior, different train of thought. Ability level as well. Mental and physical ability levels, various populations on campus, including different majors, different life experiences, personality, social economic status, backgrounds, geographical, all the different populations on campus. And lastly, neurological, making sure everyone in the room does not look or think the same. So after this 30 minutes is up, I think you'd be able to leave with ideas about what a diverse board looks like for a small institution. You can apply some contextual framework for retaining executive board members onto your board, excuse me. We can apply some recruitment strategies that we'll talk about here, and then apply strategies that catch the interest of all students on your campus. So diversity can be found in the experience. I love saying that. Diversity can be found in the experience. So how can you define your current board? Are your board members all members of fraternities or sororities or social groups? Are they all women? Are they all African-American? Do they all think the same? Do you honestly consider your group to be diverse? If you answered yes, then great, let's have a great dialogue. If you answered no, here's some upcoming tips to help you get your group to be diverse. Another thing I always like to say is make sure your board is representative of the student body. If your student body is very diverse, but your board isn't, it's not going to appeal. All the programs and events and great initiatives you all do will not appeal to all the student body because you're not represented in the board. And then think about who you're trying to attract to these events, to these initiatives you're putting on, to these wonderful service activities, etc. So purposeful programming. We all love to do programming, but is your programs honestly purposeful? Program to your members and institutions and for your size. Large scale programming is great, but if you only, we have to make sure the return on investment is great. We want to make sure if we're spending $50,000, we don't have 3 people in the seats. We got to program to our institution and for the size that it is. Also, polling your members what they want to see is so crucial. There's no need to bring a speaker from a TED Talk that you really enjoyed in to talk about global warming if nobody on your campus has global warming in mindset. Poll your campus. If you're at a small school, it's so easy to poll your campus, whether it's through social media, whether it's just sitting in the dining hall and just talking to individuals, whether it's just through emails. You may have an email list of all of your members or potential members. Go ahead and poll your campus. Annual events are great for purposeful programming. At my former institution in Wisconsin, we did a lot for MLK Day. That there was always a purpose behind it, and it was always something that students, faculty, and staff looked forward to. They know it was going to happen in January. Founders Day of the institution, it happens every year. Let's do something big and purposeful around it. I love to include the different diversity aspects in the months, like Hispanic Heritage History Month, LGBT History Month, do things for Black History Month, Women's History Month, etc. But make sure they're purposeful. I always love to make up different things that we can create as a tradition and make it our own. For instance, at Ripon in Wisconsin, November really didn't have too much besides Native American History Month, but I wanted to coin it as International Month. So we celebrated all of the international students and international identities on our campus. I made sure that I knew what international students were on campus, like where they came from, so that we can ask them for their traditions in their home countries and what do they like to eat. I would work with our Sodexo, our dining hall, and see if we can make some of those dishes for all of the campus to be able to taste and to see. We would do different sporting events to that home country. We would do different maybe arts and crafts or showing different TED Talks or even music. We would incorporate things that our students were into, music, dance, TikTok even, but do it around the purposefulness of the country that we were celebrating that month. Research what similar clubs are doing at similar schools. Social media, just go right on social media and type in the school name, and then you'll find the programming board's handles and see what they're doing. Why not? Just see, what's working at that small institution that will definitely work at yours. And look for diversity acts when you're researching different vendors and agencies to come onto campus. If there are a plethora of comedians or singers or artists all look the same, we may want to venture out to see what other acts the vendors have, as we want to make sure that the people coming to our campus can identify and represent the people at the campus very well. So now let's talk about recruiting a diverse board. So what is your recruitment process? How do you get executive board members into your organization? Is it through an application process? Are you specifically going out to different individuals and speaking with them? Are you just only going to your friend groups? What about appointments? Do you appoint certain positions? Is it all through word of mouth? Do you rely on the student activities fair or the organizational fair? Do you only put advertisements up around campus or on social media? And do you have certain requirements or prerequisites for the individual to be in the position? Are you limiting your individuals to be on your team? Think about that. Recruit through being accessible and non-exclusionary. That's kind of where the requirements part come in. Make sure that you are able to get all individuals that want to participate to participate. There's nothing wrong with that. Recruit through social media that is engaging and relevant. Social media is big, especially in this quarantine time. We're always on our phones, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Snapchat, on Reddit, whatever it may be. Make sure you're advertising in all of the channels that your students' eyes will be on. We already talked about purposeful programming, but making sure that you always have an opportunity or someone designated to talk with individuals about how to become a member of the organization at every event that you have, whether it is the president or the media relations chair or the advisor. It's just someone should be able to always talk to individuals about how to join your team, because obviously they came to your great event. Now maybe they want to join the team, whether that's through a committee or an internship under the group or your next executive board member. And then recruit through other student organizations you belong to as well. So when you go, let's say I'm in a sorority. If I'm going to my house or my chapter meeting, I want to make sure that the ladies in my chapter know exactly all the great things I was doing, so they get excited about it and want to be a part of it too. I always say this, and this isn't a Greek presentation, but I always say that, for my sorority, people join people. They don't necessarily join the org. They join the person that drew them in and made them excited about what they're doing. So people join people. Okay, they're on the board. Now what? Now what are we going to do? We want to make sure that we are retaining our executive board members, especially that come from diverse backgrounds. We want to make sure that they always have a report to give in the meetings. And this is reasonable because they want to see their importance and feel their importance. So always make sure each executive board member has some type of report, the things that they have done from the last meeting up until now. Make sure they have something. You can retain members through having a historical or cultural or diverse fact, or even a school fact that could be stated to show how the group appreciates variety in the meetings, diversity or different aspects. I always have your members and your executive board walk out of the meeting or event with something they didn't walk into the meeting or event with. Each meeting, have a board member supply something that everyone has to do. So here at my current institution, because COVID struck and we're not able to meet in person, and we're usually a close-knit group, I have each executive board member, and we go by the order in the Constitution, they have to do an icebreaker or a team builder. So we can build our team, even though we have to build it virtually. So we started with the president, well, actually I started it first as advisor. Then the next meeting, the president did the team builder. Then the next meeting, the vice president did the team builder. And we are learning great things from each other. Stuff I never would have known, whether this person played the piano, or this person has broke 3 bones in their lifetime, or this person was able to be on TV for this. It's just fun stuff we learned about each other to kind of build that rapport and say, oh, wow, okay, I thought you just did treasurer stuff, but no, now I know that you actually have been on Double Dare or something of that nature. Advisors and presidents can have weekly or monthly. I do mine weekly, but some advisors I know have monthly one-on-ones with their board members to talk about life outside of the org. We want to make sure that we're building trust and rapport. So it can always be about, okay, what did you do in this position? What's going on? What's coming next? If you want to build rapport and actually retain them, you got to make sure you know their mom's names. Make sure that you know their pets' names. Make sure that you understand the life that they have as much as they're willing to share with you outside of the organization, to kind of keep things always exciting and keep things fresh and sparky. Also, act as a support group, making sure that you're supporting them in all of their efforts, including things outside of the organization. For instance, some of our board members recently joined a fraternity or sorority. So making sure that we go and cheer them on at their coming out show or a new member presentation, or if they are really nervous for their presentation coming up in class, making sure we're giving them words of encouragement before they go into their presentation or take that test, whatever it may be. You want to be a support group for them. Have mutual respect and appreciation for one another, clear expectations about what each board member brings to the group and means to the group. That's very important. Remain organized with structure and minimal chaos if possible. When Corona first hit, everything was chaotic. Now I think we've kind of got a hold on some things. So now we can make sure that we are remaining organized to not put extra stress and strife into our board members' lives. I love doing an exec member of the month. I have 12 individuals on my board. Each of them can take a month, but it's based on the great things that they're doing. Really highlight the great things that they're doing either for themselves or for the organization, and do it in a public manner that isn't embarrassing, but is uplifting. Keep them motivated to remain purposeful. You got to make sure your board members stay motivated. And it really helps retain them. If they feel like they can do all things, keep them on the board. And I love to give little treats or public recognition, superlatives to my board members, make sure I'm recognizing their birthdays, if they celebrate their birthday, as well as their holidays, especially the different holidays that aren't on the traditional calendar of the US. So different holidays in different religions as well. And making sure that you maybe say, okay, we're not going to meet this week because of the high holy holiday. You don't have to say, okay, because Kyonna's holiday is coming up, we're not going to meet. No, nothing like that, but more along the lines of we're all going to support our individuals on our board in this way of making sure that we cancel meetings on this day because we know this is happening, or something like that. So now I thank you for your time and your listening ears today. Please retake a look at the workshop schedule, as I have a Zoom room as well as a YouTube chat to answer your questions and comments. So I appreciate you in this virtual format. My contact information is below. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks for tuning in to the Student Organization Summit. If you're watching this live, feel free to reference the schedule for the day and use the link in the schedule to access a Q&A room where you can ask questions or chat with the presenters from this workshop. If they didn't list a Q&A link, or you're watching this video after the event, thank you for your interest in the Student Organization Summit.